After my Pharaoh gun guide video, everyone kept repeating how the Pharaoh is just a worse Anvil. And fine, I get it. They have similar damage and the Anvil is just straight up faster. And to be fair, it is one of the most popular weapons in the game. So in this video, we're going to take a look at the Anvil as a whole, how it compares to other weapons, what stats do and don't matter, and recommend a best loadout for you. Let's dive in. Here's how it looks on paper. The Anvil does 40 damage per shot, which is tied for 5th best with the Pharaoh. But as I just said, it has a much higher firing rate at 16.3. Now that may seem relatively low, given it's ranked 14th out of all the weapons. But it's much higher than the Pharaoh's 6.6. And due to that, the relative DPS, which is a kind of way to compare damage, it is not the actual gun's DPS, is 6th best at 652. And with a range of 50, this is a top 10 weapon in terms of that as well. So yes, on paper I will admit, this gun is just a straight upgrade over the Pharaoh. But as we'll talk about in a bit, however, it's also a little less flexible, having only one real mod slot for the barrel. Before we dive into the optimizations, however, I wanted to highlight the importance between a newly crafted Anvil and a fully upgraded one. While I've always just been showing this to compare speed, some folks thought that I was treating the dummies as a realistic representation of time to kill, which is not what I aim to do. To avoid that, instead of just firing however many bullets into the dummies until they go down, I've swapped to using a full clip and reloading into the wall. That should clear things up. I was never using them as DPS checks, it was just a way to show speed. Thanks to the hammer in the Anvil, at rank 1, there's a decent enough delay between shots, and the reload is slower, causing the whole thing to take around 14 seconds. Upgrade your Anvil to the max, however, and you can speed up the entire process by about 28%, and get the full clip and reload done in under 10 seconds. That upgrade process isn't super expensive here too, which is great. For one simple gun part, 2 heavy gun parts, and 11 mechanical components, you can get a fully upgraded version that essentially costs you about 9,000 coins in value. Next, we get into the testing. The first thing I wanted to dive into was recoil in the muzzle brakes. The Anvil has got some real kick to it, so I was curious to see how things would shake out. It turns out, not much. There's not a huge amount of difference here. It's marginally better, sure, but probably not worth the slot. So after that, I took a look at the compensators to see how it would affect bullet spread. Now, as I've said in my other guides, this is obviously more relevant the further away you are, because the bullets can spread wider. But I wanted to test unloading as fast as possible into a wall and see what kind of difference it made there. Even this close up, it does result in a slightly more concentrated spread, which is pretty cool to see. But honestly, It's not even worth diving too deep into that because we all know what the best attachment really is, the extended barrel. It supposedly adds more vertical recoil as a kind of drawback, so I tested that, and it doesn't really change anything, again. And in exchange, you get this amazing accuracy at extended ranges. So naturally, I think it's safe to say that this is easily the best loadout for the Anvil. Just slap an extended barrel on it. And before you ask, no, I don't have the legendary mod that turns it into a shotgun. I may have had one once and equipped it only to lose it pretty much immediately without ever even getting to fire a shot, which is kind of embarrassing, but maybe one day I'll have it again and run tests on that for you, but for now, can't do it sadly. For the budget folks, stick on a compensator or one of these silencers that I'm about to test. Again, I'm just gonna fire them into the air. I know it's not a perfect representation because it's more about at which range other people in ARC can detect you, not so much about how loud it is for you, but you can kind of at least get an idea. If you're confused at all, here is a tier list of every possible attachment and justification for you to consider. So that's the Anvil. Super straightforward, and honestly, I'm a bit confused as to why it was in such high demand, considering it has exactly one mod slot of note. But I do hope this helped you in some way. As always, make sure to leave a like and subscribe. In the comments, just let me know what weapon you think I should do next. I'm kind of leaning towards doing the common weapons this time around since they're so, well, common. But I'll be keeping an eye out to see what I should do next. For now, though, I think that's it. I'll see you next time.